Dice Company contains fantasy violence, mature themes, and unapologetic bickering. No feelings were hurt in the making of it, but listener discretion is advised. Dice Company will always be free, but it's not free to make. Please consider supporting us on Patreon or Apple Podcasts and get access to our weekly roundtable show Extra Roll. Just follow any of the links in the show notes for this chapter.
Alo Clearwater's life was never perfect, but it was bearable. He'd reached the rank of sergeant for the 4th District Bounders Division in Lunadine, got himself a small house, and had even been on a few dates with a local girl called Sally. It wasn't perfect, but it was his. Then, during a standard theft investigation, he met them.
Very good, it is just a knife. But it's not the knife, it's the wielder. And I am something of an expert where it comes to knife work.
You don't want to kill any more?
Yes, we do.
But you see, you can do terrible things with a knife. It's all depending on where you start. It's amazing what you can do to the human body and what we can all endure.
In the aftermath of that day, Alo was brought before a Bounders tribunal.
Alo Clearwater, for dereliction of duty and mutilation, you are hereby dismissed from the Bounders of Lunadine. May the moon show you more mercy than this tribunal.
Sally had seen what had happened to him and stopped calling round, and when he returned home, he found an eviction notice. As the rain lashed down on the last night in his home, Alo drank. He'd never been a big drinker, but he didn't know what else to do. That is when there was a knock at the door. Master Alo Clearwater, I understand you're looking for work. I have some to offer. Who are you? I am the answer to your troubles. You want gold, power, revenge? I can offer it all. Why? I am a man of contacts, and he dies in River City. I'm willing to fund you. All I need in return is loyalty, and any information you find on Vander, Finnick, Quez, or the automaton Tock. Can you do that? I suppose. Good. Then you will leave for River City in the morning. Congratulations, Master Clearwater. Your life is about to improve. For a few months, Alo's life does improve. His wealthy benefactor is good to his word, and slowly, the newly christened Blackwater gang make their mark in River City, taking business from more established gangs. While not popular, Alo avoids any conflicts with the Bounders, and the gang swells in size, although there is no word on the fugitives. That is until the 12th of Midsummer, when alongside the Shadow Vanguard Elestia, the Blackwater gang capture a legion of orcs from Crimson Reach. Through interrogation they learn where the fugitives have been, and pass that, along with the Centurion of the Legion, over to his benefactor. Master Clearwater, you have done excellent work. Now I'd like you to meet Hugo Steppenwolf, former Bounder captain of Slatehome. He will be joining you in this little venture. He has personal experience which may be beneficial. I am going to kill them all. Yes, they do have a talent for ruining lives, it seems. Alo's success does not last, though, as the entire Blackwater operation is all but destroyed in a single day, at the hands of the rival gang, the King's Gambit, and hired mercenaries known as the Ungovernables. They've killed them. All of them. A setback. Nothing more. Nothing more? The entire operation is gone. And now you will build a new one. In Shale. Why would I? Because that is your purpose. We all have a purpose. Mine is to gather information. I have it on good authority that the leaders of the Order of the Heron will eventually visit Shale. All of them? No. Master Quez and his pet have been removed from the board. But the easiest way to find them is to find the others, so the job remains the same. Who are you? I'm your friend, Alo. You'll have a new partner waiting in Shale. Someone with unique resources and an equally burning desire to assist. I need to visit Alphon for a while, but I will see you again in the new year, when hopefully you will have an update. Shale proves profitable. Then on Renaissance Day, Alo receives word of a ship arriving at port. He doesn't believe reports at first. He has to see it for himself. Slinking through a crowded marketplace, he freezes, eyes widening. Across the square stands Vander Finnick. The gods truly hate me. Alo turns and runs, ducking through alleys into the building, down the stairs, where he pounds on the door frantically. Open up! They're here! I've just seen Finnick! Here! Now! What do we do? The door opens. I know what I'm going to do. I'm going to look him in the eye, and then I'm going to kill him. Alo desperately addresses the third person. What do you think? She smiles, goes back into her room, and closes the door as Steppenwolf pushes past. You're not going on your own, are you? Nothing is going to stop me from killing the Order of the Heron. Heart racing, sweat on his brow, tears forming in his eyes, Alo watches his partner leave. And then, despite what he knows he should do, he retreats to his room and closes the door. Welcome one and all to Dice Company's Small Embers Chapter 72, where a group of friends weave tales of triumph, heroism and despair under the guise of playing Dungeons and Dragons. My name is Tom, and I'll be your DM through the continuing adventures of the hard-partying, Renaissance Day-loving Order of the Heron. Hard-partying, Renaissance Day-loving Order of the Heron, please introduce yourselves and tell the audience one fun fact about yourselves.
Point of order, I thought this was Chapter 71.
No.
Okay, I withdraw the comment. Please continue.
Cool. I mean, that's going in.
Damn it. Hi, I'm Charlie. I play Vander Finnick. Vander.
Hi, Charlie.
Fucking hell. What a professional, ladies and gentlemen.
I'm doing my best. You guys need to be nicer.
Nope.
Actually, I take that back. I don't want you to be nicer. Okay. Hi, I'm Charlie, and I play Vander Finnick. Vander doesn't trust people, but he does trust patterns. And one pattern is becoming disturbingly clear. His crew always numbers 4. Vander increasingly suspects that all of his crews may be a cursed manifestation of the 4 horsemen. Naturally, Vander is death, the coolest and most misunderstood. Seeksorrow, with his shovel and haunted stare, is clearly the current pestilence.
What up?
Petren, who won't shut up about the suffering of the natural world, is obviously famine. And that leaves Tock War, though probably Tock's War is currently being waged on conversation. None of this upsets Vander, though. In fact, it cheers him, because if the crew of the Sterling really are the 4 horsemen, then the apocalypse isn't a problem, it's an objective.
So, Big Tick and Little Tick are just furniture to you?
He always have been. Part of the ship, part of the crew.
Does Vander begin to suspect there might be 4 ethereal puppet masters behind him and his 3 buddies, and whatever happens, those same puppet masters will come back just puppeting different people?
Okay, 1, not as bad as it sounds based on what's happening right now. And 2, riddle me this. Why, when one of Vander's crew dies, are they replaced with another one? Suspicion.
Been smoking too many of those cheroots.
Yeah. He's got paranoia.
Oh, well. And you may answer as Al or Seeksorrow.
I don't understand the question, Vander. Did this even happen?
I don't know. Are we going to get peanut galleried yet? Or?
No, I'm just waiting to correct you on the 4 horsemen.
Oh my.
Wait, did I get the names wrong?
You did.
Who's not?
Pestilence is not a horseman of the apocalypse.
Plague?
Nope. Conquest is the fourth horseman of the apocalypse.
Really?
Yep.
On
Pestilence is from
Milton.
yes,
So,
Paradise Lost.
Paradise Lost.
Paradise Lost. Yeah.
Yeah.
I think that's where the pestilence thing comes from. So basically, it's fan fiction.
That's crazy. I really thought it was the other four.
Wrong.
I've just made it canon in this universe.
What
is
actually,
Yeah, screw you, GM. We've seized control.
damn it. That's an excellent counter argument.
Hi, I'm Harry, and I play Tock, an imposing 6'8" automaton. And Tock has a hypothesis about Petren's reservations of the portable planar rift that Tock has created. He thinks it's a cloak, but, that's a very common term. So Petren is very sensitive to both etheric fields and the elemental forces of nature. So his distress at the pitch black tear in nature is possibly related to the abyss of negative energy contained within. Tock, being the good crew member he is attempting to ameliorate Petren's discomfort. But there will be some temporal constraints due to the relatively recent acquisition of the powerful negative energy source and the limited sort of initial dampening provided by the slow growth of a counteracting positive energy structure.
Cool.
and the tide slowly went back out.
Hello, my name is Dave and I play Petren Oakflower. As we've established, Petren is a bit of a worrier. So here are the top now 4 things that Petren is currently worrying about. The smallest worry is the crops and plants that Petren helped to plant back in Sanctuary. He has a low-level underlying concern about their ongoing welfare, whether they're being correctly tended, and if the harvest is going to be good. Above that, he is worried about quite how much time Cuthbert has been spending with Little Tick. He worries that Little Tick may not be a good influence. Above that, he is worried about Alexa Storm. Following on from that newspaper article that they read, it appears that Alexa is travelling with the Emperor. Petren is a kind-hearted soul who thinks the best of people, and he is worried that Alexa may have been tricked or hoodwinked by the Emperor, or perhaps has even been kidnapped. And lastly, Petren is worried by whatever it was Harry just said.
Petren's worried about what Harry said. He saw through the veil of Tock into the even more mechanical heart of Harry.
This is what happens when you don't challenge metagaming at the off. The fabric of space-time tears, Dom.
Yeah, we're just playing sock puppets now.
Sorry. Metagaming.
This whole thing is just a huge game of Hungry Hippos at this point. Hi, I'm Alex, and I'm playing Seeksorrow, and Alex has had a hell of a day today, so he has relied once again on his children to provide a fact, so buckle up, people, it's weird. I asked my nearly 10-year-old son what Seeksorrow's fact should be, and without missing a beat, he said, Seeksorrow can eat 3 people in 10 seconds.
You know these fun facts are canon.
My question to the listeners is, how scared should I be?
Do they know who Seeksorrow is?
No, he
Or
didn't
what
ask.
is?
He didn't ask. They know about the death of Augustus, but I don't think I've spoken to him about Seeksorrow.
I worry about the context in which a gravedigger would discover this.
Well, an overcrowded graveyard, presumably.
Trust me, they were buried. Don't worry about it. It's fine.
Those protein shakes don't come from nowhere.
Yeah, don't dig down there. You don't want to do that.
Some housekeeping. Don't forget to check out our companion podcasts, Extra Roll and Around the Campfire, our Discord server, the Dicecord, the greatest community in all of TTRPGs, our official website, dicecompanypodcast.com, for merchandise, and follow us on Bluesky, TikTok, and YouTube. Links can be found in the show notes. And please remember, revenge is like a rolling stone, which when a man has forced up a hill, will return upon him with a greater violence, and break those bones whose sinews gave it motion. So let's turn the page on the next chapter of Dice Company. Previously on Small Embers, the Order of the Heron find themselves in Vander's home city of Shale, enjoying the celebrations of Renaissance Day, a New Year's party with fireworks and displays where the people celebrate victory over the others. Enjoying the festivities, the booze and the food, Vander is surprised when he spots a face from the past, bounder Alo Clearwater, whom Vander tortured and mutilated in the imperial capital city of Lunadine. Acting too slow, the Order allowed Alo to run into the crowd of revelers and disappear. You are surrounded by people singing, dancing, and being merry. What would you like to do? Would you like a moment to talk amongst yourselves?
I mean, Vander said he'd had a week to think about it and he had a plan. And then you're like, what would you like to do? Is Vander having a stroke?
Oh, wait there. So you want to know my plan?
My defense is I'm in another dimension.
Petren's defense is he really wants to go to the lantern parade, but suspects this might not be the time to bring it up.
And Seeksorrow's eaten 12 sausages.
So, boys, we find ourselves in a pickle. But never fear, for Vander has a plan. Not one that can be executed this very moment, though. So, Petren, you say you wish to enjoy the festivities? I give you free rein to do so. My plan will not be operational until the early hours of the morning.
Right, you are then. Well, who wants to go to the lantern parade? I think that sounds very exciting. Who's with me?
I'm keen to come. Vander, are we going to get, attacked and murdered, though, at the parade, or they'll leave us alone till the morning?
Quite probably, but if we are allowed to survive the festivities, then I believe I can track down and deal with our little problem.
What are you going to do when you find this person, Vander?
He has 9 remaining digits.
An excellent question, Petren, and one I would be delighted to answer over breakfast.
Hang on, just to cut in, did he start with 11 fingers then? Because you said that he had 2 cut off. Did he have 11?
Oh, Tock.
Oh, Tock.
Also, it feels like, Vander, if you're going to cut more fingers off him, and every time you see him, it's going to feel a little bit like you're doing a sort of grisly countdown for him. What happens when you get to 0?
I do not plan for things to go that far, Seeksorrow, but I thank you for the advice.
So no cutting off fingers.
Let us not limit the possibilities, Petren. It is important to paint with a broad brush when dealing with intrigue.
Cuthbert and I feel quite strongly about not cutting off fingers, and I don't know if I could enjoy the lantern parade if I'm worried about post-parade finger chopping. So please, Vander, just say you're not going to cut off any more of this man's fingers.
I promise you, Petren, that you will see no such grim visages of me cutting appendages from anyone. And further, I promise to leave crop tending to you if you will leave intrigue to me.
I think Petren has perhaps missed the subtleties of how Vander has expressed that. Not being the most worldly, so he's excited. He wants to go to the lantern parade. He's accepting that Vander is not going to cut off any fingers and starts heading up the hill.
Okay, looking a bit worried and a bit sorry for Petren, Seeksorrow follows.
Vander joins gaily with a spring in his step.
And as they go, Seeksorrow kind of just mutters to Vander, trying to be outside of Petren's hearing. Vander, why would you want to cut his fingers off? That's a very specific thing to want to do. If he wants to hurt us, why don't we just knock him out? Or I suppose you could kill him if you want, but what's with the fingers?
I am a torturer by trade, Seeksorrow. The significance of fingers is a matter of my profession. I can explain it to you, of course, but you may find the details hard to bear.
Oh, I think you might be surprised, Vander, but that's all right. Let's head off up to the lantern parade then.
Good man.
Just out of interest, Seeksorrow is looking at Vander's hands. I can't remember. How many fingers does Vander have?
Not the full set. No one has ever asked that question. Not the full set. Vander's hands are gnarled, but he's missing his ring finger on his left hand.
Okay, so you can see Seeksorrow not very subtly looking at that.
Vander's hands slide into his robes.
Seeksorrow kind of does a little double take, realising that he might have offended Vander, and gives Vander a little clap on the back, kind of gently. He goes, "Come on then, Vander, let's try and enjoy the night, shall we?"
Your hands hit leathery skin. But Vander smiles back.
You guys head up the hill towards Mourner's Keep and join the crowd that is gathering for the March of Flames and the Lantern Parade. It is absolutely packed, and around you drumbeat slowly ramps up as masked figures begin to march in unison, carrying burning torches and lanterns. It is very obviously a rehearsed performance. At certain moments they stop, face each other, and they cross the torches and bang them together before then resuming the march. As the drum beats intensify, can I have perception checks at disadvantage from everyone, please?
I was going to say Tock probably isn't going to make one because he's currently brewing.
Cool.
Seeksorrow might be slightly distracted by the a faint, bubbling noise coming from his cloak.
That is a 5 for Petren. Lovely natural 1.
That's a 13 for Vander.
But that would be a natural 1 for 6.
Around you, the drum beat slowly ramps up. The crowd, the drums, and the torches create a blur of colours and noise which batter your senses. It proves difficult to differentiate between the people of the march. Vander, while you're unable to spot anything specifically, you feel a slight sense of danger in the situation you're in.
Inside his robes, Vander's hands close on the flintlock. But to the outsider, there's no change.
And he doesn't warn the party.
Yeah.
The tension intensifies for a few minutes, and then it breaks as the entire crowd seems to move onwards to the next stop in the process. Whatever danger you felt has passed. What would you like to do now?
Vander shuffles closer to the group.
Gentlemen, I sensed an aggressive presence in the crowd. I can't put my finger on it, but it felt different to the celebrations I knew of old. We must keep our wits about us. This city is now a defeated one. New forces I am not fully aware of, are now at work.
Vander, can you define presence? Was it a creature, possibly invisible?
I'm afraid I will have to answer in my usual opaque way, Tock. An ambience, a sense, a dynamic, if you will.
Those creatures are unknown to me.
Seeksorrow, if you could tighten your cloak.
Seeksorrow just sort of shakes the cloak to tell Tock off, but doesn't really know how to. He doesn't know how Tock's in there, so doesn't know how to stop him talking.
I thought it was an extraordinary performance. The grace, the speed of movement, it was amazing. I've never seen anything like it. Are you saying it's not... that wasn't how it was meant to be?
Largely, you are correct, Petren. It is meant to be an awing display, but an edge of it felt more aggressive than the celebrations of old. A change in the culture of the city would explain such a thing. I suggest it was a sign of things to be learned from this place now, post the war.
Right you are. I mean, does that mean we can't go and see the next stop?
Not at all, Petren. We must continue the celebrations as if nothing is amiss.
Oh, perfect. That's what I was hoping. Maybe there'll be more ale on the way.
I'm sure there will be.
Petron's slightly lost the run of himself here. He's just caught up in the festivities.
Petren, can you roll me a d20, please?
Okay. Just trying to have fun here. Doesn't have many days out in a big city. That was a 10.
As you make your way on the next stop in the celebration, you notice that there is a man pushing a wooden cart, and in it he's pulling out bottles of booze that he's handing out to people free of charge.
Oh, look, everyone. I think ale. Would anyone like some?
Yeah, I'll definitely take one. Thanks, Petren.
Vander shuffles along with you.
Petren and Seeksorrow, you approach the tall man who's standing by the cart. As you get close, you realise he stands about 6'2" tall, bald head, craggy face, and underneath his kind of loose-fitting leather garb, you notice that there are some kind of muscles and scars on his arm.
All right there. You want something to drink?
Oh, yes, please. Is it something local? Is it something you brew specially for these festivities?
Oh, yeah. Yeah, absolutely. They call this Blackwater Ale.
Oh, that sounds wonderful. I think we'll have 3, please, if we may.
Of course. One for you, and he hands you one to Petren, and one to your friend, and he hands it to Seeksorrow, and one to Vander Finnick.
Vander's one eye snaps towards the man, instantly fixing him.
We're in danger.
I'm not sure we are, because Vander's Finnick. It could be Vander's Marmite in this city.
You recognise this person not from Shale.
Ah, fuck a duck. We're in so much fucking trouble. Does Vander know this person?
Vander, you definitely recognise him. This is Captain Hugo Steppenwolf, the bounder from Slateholme, who you guys kidnapped and Benny replaced when you did the Topaz Keep heist. Guy you tied up and who escaped.
How complicating.
So ironic as well, because Vander hates loose ends.
Doesn't he just?
Guardsman Steppenwolf,
Says Vander, recognizing him.
not a member of the Slateholme Bounders any longer, I see. Forgive me, though. I made a promise to a friend. One moment.
Petren. And Vander casts around for any kind of distraction. What's going on? Is there any kind of street performers?
Yep, there's a fire eater and a couple of jugglers and a clown as well. All are doing performances for the crowd.
It's a friend of yours, Vander.
Vander grabs Petren by the arm and swings him round to look at the jugglers.
Petren, look! Famed jugglers of Shale!
Facing exactly 180 degrees, Vander then draws his flintlock, points it directly backwards, and just pulls the trigger.
Oh my god!
Please roll to hit.
Oh my god.
I never learned that Vander's terrible with that flintlock.
Advantage for point blank.
Yeah.
And the flintlock has been upgraded.
It has.
I'll take the 15.
15 hits. Roll for damage.
Oh,
Holy
it's a bit different.
crap.
23 piercing.
Jesus Christ. Vander, please tell us a story.
Oh my god.
Vander turns away from the cellar and he raises his flintlock under his shoulder, pointing directly behind him. He then pulls the trigger. A dark flash of some kind goes off. A hole is blazed in the back of Vander's cloak, and shrapnel smashes through the bottles on the stand and into the bounder, who is thrown backwards and onto the floor in an explosion of blood and gore, dead as he hits the ground.
The force of the blast blows him back, as you say, and there is sudden hushed silence from the crowd, and even the jugglers are now looking in your direction, although they are still juggling. These are professionals.
My God!
Says Vander, turning back.
A brewing accident! How terrible! Petren, you are a knowledgeable man where it comes to this sort of craft. One would assume he made a terrible error in the brewing process.
I think Petren probably jumped out of his skin when the flintlock went off.
Tock jumps out of Seeksorrow's skin. I mean cloak.
Petren turns to see the chaos of this bottle stand, broken glass everywhere, and this man with various holes in him, and says, What on earth happened? And he dashes over to see if he can administer any kind of first aid that could possibly be useful.
Unfortunately, as you kneel down over the corpse on the floor, you realise there is no first aid to be given.
Vander turns to the crowd.
Quickly, these bottles must be drunk before they build up a fatal pressure.
And then begins handing 3 bottles out to the crowd.
And the crowd gratefully accept the bottles.
What are you doing, Vander? There's a dead man here. We need to show some decorum or something.
Nonsense, Petren. He may still live.
As Vander keeps passing out bottles.
He's gone, Vander. He's gone. What terrible tragedy on such a night of celebration. What could possibly have happened to it?
The crowd are partially shocked, but the promise of free booze has distracted them enough, and most people are kind of side-eyeing the body, but taking the booze and then just running back off to the crowd. And actually, while you're assessing, a very plain-looking man steps from the crowd, kneels down next to Steppenwolf and checks on him, and then grabs his arm and begins to pull him away from the crowd.
What do you think you're doing? This man needs, I suppose medical attention might be too late, but some sort of arrangements must be made. Seeksorrow, You're a gravedigger. You know what happens when someone dies. How do you have to notify someone? What do you need? You can't just take the body away. Stop it! Stop right now!
And he stops. There's nothing for you to worry about. I'm going to deal with this situation.
Vander appears at Petren's side.
Forgive us, officer. We didn't see you properly. We fully understand you have the matter in hand.
You didn't see me at all.
Quite right.
And Vander turns and makes his way back towards the cart, nudging Petren as if he wants to come with him.
And the man lifts the dead body onto his shoulder and heads off into a shadowy alleyway nearby.
I think Vander's right, Petren. It's best not to stick around after these sort of brewing accidents. And he glances at Vander, because obviously Seeksorrow knows perfectly well what just happened, but he thinks it's probably better that Petren doesn't, at least for the moment, know. And so he tries to help Vander kind of keep Petren moving away from the scene, because sort of assumes the law might be coming soon.
Vander quickly snaps up the 4 bottles.
Boys, maybe it is time for us to adjourn back to our lodgings for the evening. I have some explanations to give.
Yeah, I'd say so, Vander. I'd like to hear your take on that brewing situation.
Of course, Seeksorrow, a fair question. Before we adjourn, I will quickly make sure I haven't left any of my various belongings in the cart.
And Vander quickly turns the cart over.
Give me an investigation check. Is this respectful looting again?
Very respectful looting. It's a 22 for investigation for Vander.
A quick search in amongst the bottles leads you to find a purse. You pull the drawstring and open it up. There are no coins inside, just a folded piece of parchment. Looks like it's been torn out of a ledger. At the top of the piece of parchment, it reads Blackwater Gang. And there are a list of names, notably 2 at the top, Alo Clearwater and Hugo Steppenwolf, and another name has been scrawled in atop them both, which reads Madame Cognoscenti.
Vander pockets the scroll.
A drink back at our lodgings, boys, I think. What say you?
Fine with me.
The joy's gone out of it, hasn't it, at this point? So I suppose we might as well.
A tragic accident, Petren, I quite understand.
It's a shame. I was looking forward to seeing the finale, but let's just go back. You've made Petren sad. I hope you're pleased with yourselves.
You are a bad man.
Shale is a beautiful city in the sunshine also, Petren. You have lost the night and saved the morning.
And you guys head back to the shaggy captain underneath a canopy of fireworks which intensify as the festival reaches its peak.
I guess Vander's going to invite people back to his room so we can have a quick chat.
It's a very plain room. It's just got a bed and a single cupboard.
Homely,
says Vander, wandering in.
Seeksorrow lies his axe on the floor, and then sits down with his back against the wall. So what the bloody hell was that, Vander?
A fair question, Seeksorrow. And time for a little explanation so we can decide our next moves accurately.
Tock's going to climb out of the cloak at this point.
The person who lost their lives tragically in the square tonight was a bounder formerly of Slateholm. Unfortunately, we came across him some months ago and were forced, by matters entirely outside of our control, to take him prisoner. We had assumed he had died, but unfortunately, it appears he survived.
You refer to Step and Wolf.
Yes, Tock, the cloak may have deadened your hearing somewhat, but Steppenwolf is the person to whom I am referring, yes.
Are you telling us that wasn't a brewing accident, Vander?
It was a brewing accident, Petren, but caused in part by an accelerant, my flintlock.
Well, you just murdered him right there in the street.
It is one interpretation of events. One could also argue he murdered himself by announcing his presence to me.
Vander, could you explain your logic?
Of course, Tock, and allow me to observe a wider pattern of events. We have seen 2 bounders in Shale tonight, one of whom is no longer an issue, the other remains a problem. Both of their names feature on a scroll I found in the cart, a scroll bearing the title The Blackwater Gang. It is my belief that both bounders have renounced their previous professions and joined a criminal fraternity. They clearly operate in Shale and, unfortunately, have taken a disliking to us. This could, of course, disrupt our plans and prevent us from helping this continent with our great deeds. They are therefore a threat.
Query Vander. The disliking they have taken to us. There is evidence for this?
Of course. I believe Steppenwolf, were he allowed to continue, would have threatened my life. Why else would he announce himself to us? And certainly the other bounder saw me and immediately fled to alert his comrades.
Well, but I don't understand why he would reveal himself to you when he had the upper hand if he knew you were in town but you didn't know he were in town. That's very odd behaviour.
Aggression can force a direct action from the unwary Petren. I am afraid that was his mistake.
If they are no longer bounders, Vander, they are not tied to the Empire. They may be allies.
Correct, Tock. That is my supposition also. They are now in the way, so to speak.
Correction, Vander, they may be our allies. They are the enemy of our enemy, correct?
I'm afraid I do not follow that math, Tock, which would be the second time this evening. It has been a problem for you. Unfortunately, they are not friends of ours, so will not likely flock to our cause. I see them more as a nest of vipers who have rather inappropriately taken up residence in the spot we need to operate within. That being the case, we must do what all would do when invaded by such evil. I propose we set out in the early hours of the morning and finish this little chapter before they finish it for us.
And you mean we hunt down the man missing the fingers?
And his accomplices, Seeksorrow.
Oh, it's such a tough spot, because Seeksorrow is just thinking, like, I've joined the bad guys here. I'm trying to find, like, a thread that allows Seeksorrow to go, yeah, let's wipe
you
out...
You look as though you need persuading, Seeksorrow.
Yeah, possibly, Vander, yeah.
And Vander puts a reassuring hand on your shoulder.
Oh, well, that's persuaded me.
These people are formerly of the Bounders, a group devoted to the oppression of all in this land. They only renounced that profession when they found one of even lower caliber.
And Vander pulls out the scroll.
The Blackwater Gang, not a name synonymous with philanthropy, I would suggest.
Well, their beer's all right.
The beer is quite tasty, yes.
Is it the Blackwater that they refer to?
Unlikely, Tock, but thank you. As ever, your interjections are a form.
I have observed that many beers are coloured black, Vander.
That is very true, and almost entirely superfluous to our conversation.
Well, I think, Vander, our little alliance is still fairly new. I don't want to speak for Petren. I guess Tock's comfortable with what's going on, but perhaps for Petren and definitely for me, I think we probably need not so many more brewing accidents and maybe a little more chat at least before those bottles blow up, just to make sure that the brewers aren't just common criminals who don't really need to blow up.
Of course. It saddens me though, because previous and valued members of this crew have made similar mistakes in the past, and villainy has always revisited us, if not burned out at the first encounter. But perhaps arguments of advanced retaliatory action are not persuasive. But arguments of preservation are. You have been seen, Seeksorrow, in my presence, are now no doubt a threat to the Blackwater Gang unless you take action.
Well, I'm only just now realising how dangerous it is to be in your presence, Mr. Vander.
And a delight, too.
Yeah, absolutely, yeah, good point.
Your argument is persuasive, Vander. Although the killing was premature, you have committed us to a path.
I have, Tock, but perhaps a first mover advantage was worth the possibility of losing that advantage in waiting for what the Bounder would do.
Well, let me just say this though, Vander. It's a complicated world. We've just come from Frost Hollow, where people who served the Warden might have done it thinking they were on the right side, not even really knowing what he truly was. I didn't know what he was till the very end of his life, if he was alive. So let's not go around assuming that everyone who does something with a Empire banner on their shoulder needs a beer bottle blowing up so close to me. Let's just be a bit more... Let's be a little slower popping that particular cork, shall we?
I fail to see why Bounders turned criminals curry such heartwarming fervour from you, Seeksorrow, but if you will agree to join me this evening, I will persuade you of their villainy before we remove them from this plane of existence, if you insist.
I do insist, Vander, and maybe you don't see everything. I know you're a clever man, but perhaps some things are hidden even from your eyes.
Correction. Eye. Vander only has one eye.
I think there might be something moving around under the mask, if I'm not much mistaken.
That gets a smile from Vander.
And what say you, Petren?
Well, as you say, Vander, you've committed us to a course of action, and I can't say I'm best pleased about it, but I fear that we are committed. I thought Seeksorrow spoke particularly well there, and I back what he's got to say. And there's one more thing as well. I know I'm not the most worldly, but I'm not a child. I don't wish to be turned and shown the entertainment while the grown-ups do the proper business, and I'd appreciate it if you didn't treat me as such in the future.
I apologize, Petren. I was only trying to shield you from the gore you showed a reluctance to see earlier this evening. Forgive me if I acted prematurely, but you mentioned that you didn't want to see violence.
Well, I didn't mean I didn't want to see violence, Vander. I meant I didn't want there to be violence.
I see, Petren. This will be a tricky profession for you to follow, as I suspect there will be much violence before we achieve our ends.
Well, I understand that violence is sometimes required, Vander, but I like to think we'd all be a little bit more aligned in agreeing that there is a need for violence before that violence takes place.
I don't suppose we could now just agree that violence is necessary, Vander says temptingly.
Temptingly.
You're right, Vander. I don't suppose we could.
Vander, I think the three of us, other than you here, are probably more or less on the same page. And I once spent a morning as a philosophy teacher. I don't know if I've ever told you about that. It's a bit of a strange story. What I learned during that from that school is when one of the kids was naughty, they had to do a punishment. They had to do like some press ups, or they had to run up and down the games field.
Or they got crucified.
Not that morning. That was Saturdays. I feel like, Vander, I think a little gentle penitence from you, that's what they said, penitence was what they called it, would be worth us all seeing right now. So would you mind just running up and down for a bit?
Vander looks down at his incredibly unstable frame, then back up at Seeksorrow.
Maybe some star jumps?
Then turns away, and then turns back with a weird smile.
Boys, I've been harsh, I can tell by your collective reaction. I apologize if my actions appear to have jumped the gun. I will, of course, take your very sage advice on board and consider my own soul in actions I take going forward. Trust that your words have been heard and that I will change inwardly and outwardly from this day forth. Would that satisfy you?
Absolutely, Vander, as long as you do the punishment run as well.
I will bank the punishment run and pay my debts at such time that I am able.
Well, I can't say I'm not disappointed with that, Vander. I thought it would be quite fun.
Fun for you, Seeksorrow. Less fun for those who might not make it through such a punishment.
Well, indeed, Vander, that sort of was the point, wasn't it? Not a fun night for your friend the brewer back there.
You might examine your own ethics, Seeksorrow. One that delights in another's pain is no fit judge for my actions this evening.
Not delight, Vander, a little chuckle maybe.
I delighted in it, but I've changed now, as I say, Seeksorrow. Now, if we can get down to the planning of the thing, which I, of course, have amended in line with your sensitive values.
Well, so what's the plan now, Vander? We have a little chat with him, then blow his head off. Sorry, brewing accident.
Very close to it, Seeksorrow, a noble idea. I will form a trance-like state and enter the nightmares of the bounder in question, inflicting pain and also finding out where they are hidden. We will then travel to that location and ask some probing questions. Questions which will, of course, allow us to decide whether they are worthy of justice and potentially release, or whether we must inhume them.
All right, Vander. A question and a demand, if you don't mind.
Go ahead, Seeksorrow.
You can answer the question second. And that's going to just be a bit of an explanation about what this dream invasion that you're planning is all about. I haven't heard of that. Sounds interesting. Would like to hear more. My demand is that the face-to-face encounter will be handled by myself and Petren and Tock, with you as the backup.
Of course. I would suggest exactly the same. If we plan to go in with questions rather than blades, I offer you the chance to lead negotiations.
Thank you, that's fine.
The entering of dreams is a subtler and more complicated affair. Suffice to say, I will take care of my part, if you will take care of yours.
And the bounder, or ex-bounder, whatever he is, hopefully not an ex-pianist, I guess, not going to die in the process of this, or be so horrifically tormented that he'll, never look at the sun again in the same way?
I will perform my duties with the lightest of touches in your honour, Seeksorrow.
Seeksorrow gives a belly laugh at that, realises he's getting nowhere, and just has a big swig of the Blackwater ale. He likes Vander in spite of himself.
Are we agreed?
And Seeksorrow just keeps laughing.
Well, I suppose so. Wait, what do you think, Cuthbert?
Squeak, squeak.
Cuthbert's got his eye on you, Vander, just so you know.
I am more than aware. We will need to wait a short time to ensure our quarry are asleep. So, perhaps time for a cheroot.
And Vander pulls one from his case.
He's going to go and have a worry, I think, rather than a cheroot.
And you guys spend a couple of hours in Vander's room awaiting the deep of the night. And before you know it, it's about 3 a.m.
Vander takes one last drag on his cheroot before putting it out.
This will take but a few moments, boys. Excuse me.
And he lies back on the bed. I cast Dream, and my target is Alo.
Alo Clearwater is asleep.
Is it obvious to the rest of us that he's done anything special, or is he just taking a nap from our perspective?
To the rest of you, it just looks like he's fallen asleep.
Perhaps we will take action after Vander's nap.
What dreamscape would you like to create for Alo?
I want Alo to feel like he's in the exact place that he's actually asleep.
Having cast the spell, you see a kaleidoscope of colours in almost like a portal that begin to swirl around, and then you step out of it into the bedroom of Alo Clearwater. A quick glance around tells you that this is the bedroom of a tavern.
And as Alo awakes in his dream, he sits up to find Hugo Steppenwolf standing at the doorway to his bedroom.
Oh, you scared me. Hello there.
We've done it, Alo. We've finally done it.
What? Done it? It's done?
What we came here to do, Alo, it's done.
And they're dead? Oh, they're all dead?
Everyone, Alo. Everyone. We've done it.
Vander? The machine? Tock?
Both of them.
The thief?
That's right.
The nobleman?
Everything we sought to achieve, Alo. It's all done.
I wasn't there for it. I don't believe it. After all this time, I lost everything because of them.
You don't need to worry about that now, Alo. Look down at your hand.
And he looks at his hand.
And he finds his hand is whole.
What kind of magic is this?
When we dispatched that group, we found treasures you couldn't believe on them, Alo. Magic spells, doubloons, enough to make us all filthy rich.
Oh my gods. Oh my gods. Madame Cognoscenti is going to be so happy. Does she know? Was she with you?
You can tell her, Alo. You can tell her yourself.
Oh, I don't know. That dog scares me.
Where is she now, Alo?
She's in the next room over. Like, you must have seen her when you came in.
Well, I was thinking, Alo, you can first get yourself a perfect night's sleep, because all your troubles, they're all dust and wind now, Alo. You've got money, more than you could possibly know what to do with. In fact, you could set up that thing you said, in this place. What is this place again? What's the address?
Well, where we are now is the Stag's Head.
You could have it as your own, Alo. Your own pub, run by Alo. Famed across Shale. You could start up a chain.
The world would have forgiven me then, wouldn't it?
All is forgiven, Alo. All you need do now is rest. Rest in the deepest, comfortable sleep you can, Alo. All your problems, they're all gone.
Months of no one even remembered me enough to hate me. And now it's over.
That's right, dearest Alo. Off you go now, back to the land of Nod.
And he falls asleep.
And Vander wakes.
Well, are we going then, Vander? What you said you had a plan, and well, then you had a nap.
Vander sits up.
I do, Petren. I believe they are in the Stag's Head.
Do you know where that is?
Not far from here, Petren.
Right. Well, is it safe to ask how you know that?
Perfectly safe. You will not be harmed. I can simply say that I did some thinking on the matter and caused no harm, importantly.
Petren looks slightly sceptical, but...
You can give me an insight check if you want.
Oh yeah, maybe I will.
Be careful how much insight into Vander's mind you get. You could be Petren could be destroyed.
That is 21.
Difficult man to read is old Vander Finnick, but you've travelled with him enough that you get a pretty good idea of when he's overtly lying, and he appears to be telling you the truth in that he hasn't harmed Alo Clearwater.
Vander, may we induce that you have invaded the ex-bounder's mind at a distance?
You may always induce that I am invading minds from a distance, Tock.
I do, Vander.
Then we are of an accord. Now, as agreed, I will of course allow you to lead the proverbial way, and you can have a little conversation.
All right then, Vander, we will. And if us leading the way involves you killing him from across the room, then we'll have some stern words.
Of course, Seeksorrow, I commit entirely to your plan and will disdain from violence unless, of course, you are threatened. I should say there is another, probably more than one, present in the building. She goes by the rather intriguing name of Madame Cognoscenti. We will find her in the room next to Alo's, and unless I am much mistaken, there will be more to the group. As many as 14. We will, of course, have the element of surprise until you begin your little conversation.
Well, it's the middle of the night. Let's keep it quiet, and maybe we can just deal with the one.
Vander, I would suggest that you wear the cloak in case you are in need of extra violence. And Tock will walk back into the cloak.
Why, thank you, Tock.
And Vander dons the massive cloak over his now ripped cloak, making him look even more shambling than before.
I love that Tock is always there to question Vander, call him out on stuff, and then offer violence.
Well, we do get a lot of it.
It's basically the perfect teammate.
Yeah. Team Stick, we're back.
You're lying. I don't approve of it. Who are we killing?
Vander pulls a lantern from the wall and makes his way out of the pub.
In the wee hours of the morning in Shale, the fireworks have stopped and the majority of the townsfolk have dispersed. There's still a few rather loud, slightly obnoxious drunks staggering around the city, but you can tell that the party atmosphere has almost completely ended. You make your way into the lower city, and it doesn't take you long following Vander's lead to find a huge, magnificent-looking building. It's, from what you can tell, 3 stories high and is kept in incredible condition compared to the buildings around it. It stands almost like a monument to decadence in an otherwise rather shabby part of town. The door is open, and there is a crackling hearth inside, but there are no patrons, just one barman. And like all barmans from all fiction, he stood behind the bar, cleaning a tankard.
Vander places the lantern down at one side.
I believe this is where you take over from me.
Petren, Vander, maybe let go your magic animals, see if you can find the right room, and let's just sit and have a drink for a minute.
Right you are.
Vander whispers to Bellerophon, who scuttles off.
Yeah, Cuthbert goes scooting down towards, looking for some stairs down.
Bellerophon sees Cuthbert and tries to do it faster.
Seeksorrow goes up to the bar and goes to the guy. 3 beers, please, mate, and 1 for yourself.
That's very kind of you. No problem. Coming up. Take a seat. I'll bring him over.
Okay, so goes to find a kind of out-of-the-way table. I realise it's an empty pub.
And in the team-up we didn't know we needed, Bellerophon and Cuthbert gutter away. Cuthbert outpacing Bellerophon, but Bellerophon looking like he's really trying to go as fast as he can, but Cuthbert is away and gone. Dave, give me an investigation check.
And Google tells me that a weasel would easily win in a race against a chameleon. Weasels are fast, agile mammals that can run at speeds of up to 8 miles an hour. Chameleons, on the other hand, are slow, deliberate movers.
Ooh.
Yep. Not a surprise there.
So give me a Cuthbert-related investigation check.
That is a 20.
Very nice. Is that a natural 20?
It is a natural 20, yes.
Lovely. Cuthbert immediately finds a set of stairs that lead down. Following it very carefully, give me a stealth check as well, please.
Well, I've just rolled my second natural 20 in a row because Cuthbert is trying extra hard because you can see that Bellerophon thinks it's a competition.
Love it. Absolutely love it. So that was a natural 20 for investigation and a natural 20 for stealth.
Yep, that's the one.
Good lord. Okay, so following a shortish corridor in the basement of the Stag's Head, Cuthbert, with one eye constantly looking back to make sure Bellerophon isn't catching up with him, kind of hop jumps past a few rooms. 20 is a lot. From one of the rooms, he can hear clanking. The next room, however, the door is partially open, and a very, very carefully just creeps in, looks up, and he finds Alo Clearwater asleep in his bed. He then returns to relay that message to you, passing Bellerophon, who is still attempting to make his way slowly, one step at a time.
So Petren checks the bartender isn't about to walk over with drinks, and then says, "Looks like he's in a basement room. He's asleep."
All right then, boys, we need to do something to distract the barman, or maybe wait till he goes to do something.
What's the plan here, Seeksorrow? What do we do when we find him?
I don't know. We have to talk to him, see what he tells us.
Make him leave the city or something, maybe.
Yeah, or maybe scare him enough so he leaves us alone till we leave.
Right, you are.
The bartender brings your drinks over, and as he places the tankards down, anything else I can get you, gents?
You got any hot food? I know it's late in the night or early in the morning, but it's been a long night for us. I'm sure it has for you too.
Mm-hmm. Glances around. I'm sure I could knock you up something. Hot food? Give me 10 minutes.
Perfect, mate. Yes, please.
Any trouble, just shout. And he heads behind the bar and opens a door into the kitchen, enters and closes the door behind him.
Let's go then, boys. And Seeksorrow heads for where Cuthbert had gone and hopes that Petren or Cuthbert shows us the way.
So I think just quickly before you do that, Petren is going to grab a scrap of paper and scribble, like, "sorry, had to dash," on the paper and put down a gold coin in the hopes that the barman will think that we've just had to leave when he doesn't find us in the bar. so he won't look for us.
Nicely done.
You approach the room with the door ajar where you know Alo is asleep. Much like Cuthbert, as you pass the room next door, you can hear very light clanking coming from inside, like a hammer being smashed onto a piece of metal.
Is someone doing like metal work or something?
Yeah, like the sound of metalwork.
All right, and Seeksorrow will just ease the door open and kind of lead the team in.
Okay, Alo appears deep in sleep. He's snoring loudly.
I'm gonna. Feels like we shouldn't stay here too long, right? So, Petren's gonna whisper to Seeksorrow. What do you think? Do we get him out of here?
I actually don't know what we want from him.
We've got an idea.
All right, then, Petren, because I've got really no ideas here, so crack on, mate.
What I would like to do, I'm going to cast blindness.
I don't see why it wouldn't work on them, but it just seems a bit mean.
Why are you pulling a face?
Carry on.
Fucking worse than the torture I would have gone for.
I will do the Constitution saving throw now. That is a 16.
17.
It's a fail. He has been blinded.
So yeah, I'm gonna go over to him and kind of shake him and go, "We gotta get out. We gotta go. Quick. Shh.
Oh, what's happened? I can't see anything.
Shh. We've gotta go now. Come with me."
Give me a persuasion check at advantage.
15.
Oh, okay. And he gets up and he's kind of reaching out and trying to grab onto one of you for support.
So I'm going to take him by the arm and try and quickly but quietly hustle him out of the inn and find a quiet alley somewhere.
As you help him along the way,
What's going on? Where's Madame Cognoscenti?
Don't worry, she'll be there when we get there. Don't worry.
Okay.
he follows your lead as you lead him out of the Stag's Head to a nearby alleyway, far away from any drunks.
Where we do all our business. Alleyways.
To the poop deck of Shale.
I'm very sorry to have tricked you. Don't worry. Your sight will come back in just a moment. There's nothing to worry about, but I have slightly misled you.
What?
You need to understand what's going on. I hear you've been trying to I don't quite know how to put it. What's going on with you and Vander Finnick?
Vander Finnick? That is a name that has haunted me for months. But it doesn't matter now because he's dead. My mate killed him. It's over. It's finally over.
Vander's mimicking pulling of a trigger, but quietly.
Who are you? How did you trick me? What? I don't understand why I can't see.
Oh, it'll wear off shortly. Don't worry. You'll be all right. Just stay calm. Everything's going to be okay.
Stay calm? You just told me you lied to me and I'm blind.
Well, you won't be... Well, I know, but I lied to you. But I'm not lying to you now. I wouldn't have told you that I'd lied to you if I was lying to you now, would I? That wouldn't make any sense.
That sounds like the kind of thing a liar would say.
Just be quiet.
Okay. What do you want? I haven't got much money.
And Petren's going to nod towards Seeksorrow to see if he's got any questions at this point.
Oh, fuck me. I was really hoping you weren't going to throw this to me.
Are you trying to kill me?
No, you're all right, lad. You're all right. Now, Alo, we've been watching you. We're part of... There's a bigger gang she belongs to. Yours is just a small part of it. You following me?
Oh yeah, I know about the bigger gang. I know all about it. Don't worry. Oh, that explains everything.
Well, that's fine. So, we've been watching you and we can see you've got talent and potential. Now you've helped us get rid of that Finnick. We need you to sort something else out for us. It's far away from here and you have to leave tonight.
Honestly, I'll be even better than I have been. More potential. Look, I've even got all 5 fingers now. And he holds up 3 fingers.
Well, that's good to hear. That there might be some confusion. That might come and go. But, you know, that's great. That's good news for you. These spells take time to take root. So just, you know.
No, it's fine. Look. See? 5 fingers. And he takes one hand and goes 1, 2, 3... Hang on. 1, 2, 3.
God.
Oh my god, I lost my fingers again. What's happening?
Well, as I say, the road to recovery isn't always completely smooth. So just. Oh my god!
Where's Hugo? Hugo told me that I had all my hand back.
It just takes time. Hugo has also been selected for a special mission. Don't worry though. You may hear a story that he's been killed.
What?
We've just seeded that story. It's a ridiculous story about an exploding beer bottle. But when you hear it, you'll be smart enough to know it's just a story. We needed to send him on a secret mission as well. So
give me a deception check.
I mean, this guy's easy, surely. Can I argue for advantage? Because
absolutely not.
Oh, he thinks he's got 5 fingers. He's not very
He
bright.
now knows he doesn't. Plus, he's blind.
This is the worst
Taking him out of a
situation.
pub in the middle of the night to persuade him of this.
Oh my god. That would, for deception, that would be 3. The number of fingers this guy has on his wounded hand.
Hang on a minute. Let me just think for a second.
Well, I suggest that'd be a mistake.
No, not this time. You see his hand go into his pocket and he pulls out a small pebble. Just a plain-looking pebble. Madam Cognoscenti, where are you? I'm outside the Stag's Head. I think there's people trying to hurt me.
I'm going to slap it out of his hand.
And the pebble falls to the ground, not before he was able to get a message out.
Oh, I wish you hadn't done that.
You're going to wish I hadn't done that. Trust me.
I don't think you should be pissing me off at this point, mate. I'm the only thing standing between you and certain death.
You think I'm scared of death? After what I've been through for the last 6 months, you think death offers any fear for me?
In my experience, people say that haven't really thought it through.
Time is wasting,
says Vander.
Alo swings at Seeksorrow, but misses in his blinded state.
I think Seeksorrow is going to try and punch him unconscious.
Cool. Give me an unarmed strike.
This is not an attempt to kill him. This is just an attempt to clean up the board. 23.
Is a hit. Seeksorrow, you strike Alo across the chin, and he spins, and with a wet slap, hits the floor, unconscious.
Buggering hell, boys, I don't think we got that right. I think we better slip away. Let's go away from the pub, because we can assume they'll be looking around here for us.
I feel certain that Alo has already revealed that we are in the city. It may be a question now of standing and fighting.
Clang, clang, clang. You hear the padding of metal feet, and from around the corner, an enormous metal dog appears and looks directly towards you. And we will end it there.
Oh, fuck.
You've been listening to Dice Company's Small Embers, starring Dave Windust as Petren Oakflower, Alex Morrison as Seeksorrow, Charlie Blackadder as Vander Finnick, and Harry King as Tock, with Tom Patrick as your Dungeon Master.
The humans of Dice Company would like to thank the following sweethearts for their support: Zeus Legion, Zero Nova, Sepulchre Stennet, Marky B, Jenny the War Camel, Stephen Sikora, Nori Gosler, Mickey Arnold, Happy Daddy Scotty, Tika, SJ Phionics, Richard Ungamus, Rabbi Camel, Team Stay Toxic, Path Pursuit, Paris Pakar, Liz Beckett, Julia Zeno, Shovels, Queenie, and a special extra thanks to our very own Council of Rojan, Mama Strange, Axel Runholm, and Chris from North London.
Just for a quick live action social post, what 3 horsemen do we agree on? So I'm going to ask the audience to chip in the 4th one in a funny way.
War,
death and famine.
Yes.
And then the last one is either conquest or pestilence, which, yeah.
I think it's ennui.
The four things I feel in the apocalypse, and the fourth thing is ennui.
I think it's people eating hot food on trains.
Oh yeah, almost certainly of Greek origin, as like the continuation of the Dionysian cult.
I just felt the Harry Tock blend tick up a notch, didn't you? Soon there'll be one.
Harry, why don't you fun fact us?
Or Tock, whichever you answer to.
I only answer to Cuthbert.
Hi, I'm Alex. Oh my god.
Also, please leave it in there. I'm Alex, and oh my god.
Oh my god. I just saw my own hands.
Is this some kind of sick joke?
I can tell it's been quite a full-on start to this episode. My glasses are steaming up. I'm not sure if I'm crying or I'm hot or what's happening.
That could be self-realization now, based on what's just happened.
Yeah, all the moisture in my body is now just leaving.
Ow, your fun fact.
I don't know anymore. Okay. Hi, I'm Alex.
Cool.
Oh my god. I don't even know what's funny. Okay, here we go. Do it like a professional.
So, boys, we find ourselves in a pickle. But never fear.
I still can't do the voice anymore. I don't know where that's gone. Cool. But, yeah.
Just what we want to hear.
Yeah.
I do not believe it will go that far, Petren. I plan to finish the problem in the near future.
Oh, well, my name's actually Seeksorrow.
Fucking hell.
So fuck you.
It's all just a comedy of errors.
What did Tock do?
Well, you were in the group when we tied them up.
He held him down whilst you cut off his fingers. And
Yeah, I mean, almost as much as Vander. So,
but Tock's a sweetheart.
Yeah, I mean, we could say that in a meta-narrative way, but...
Yeah.
I believe they are in the Hog's Head, not far from here.
Oh, sorry, have I got that wrong?
Yep.
What was it?
I believe it's the Stag's Head.
Oh, fucking hell, we're going to kill all the wrong people.
I believe they are in the Stag's
That would be
Groin.
amazing. Go to the wrong pub.
I thought you were sending us off to the wrong place so you could sneak in and kill him when we weren't around.
Lore.
Thanks for listening. Please consider supporting Dice Company on Patreon, where for the price of a cup of coffee you get access to a whole other show, Extra Roll, as well as an ad-free listening experience. The Dice Company Discord server, along with our socials, can be found on our link tree in the show notes. If you enjoyed this chapter, please like and subscribe, and don't forget to recommend us to your friends. If you didn't like it, recommend us to your enemies. And we'll see you next time on Dice Company.